Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out. Get on with it. Yeah, get on with it. All right. Yeah, I screwed that up. Let's try it again. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, December the 18th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. It's none of them, Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Howdy. We've got Driving Pete.
You got Car Pete.
Car Pete to you, mister.
Wow. Sounds like, Sounds like Alfonso from Staten Island is calling in on the show.
Alfonso, tell us what you think about the current goings-on in sports these days.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Bellinger, Yankees, World Series, guaranteed.
No. If it's Staten Island, it's probably going to be a Mets fan going, they did it! It's the biggest victory we've ever had. We got Soto.
Isn't it weird that there's more Mets fans than Staten Island Yankees fans, but the Staten Island minor league team is the Yankees?
No, that's nothing. Nobody cares.
Well, that's because the Staten Islanders are all transplants from somewhere else.
Yeah,
because where the worst areas of the New York City metropolitan area are Mets fans because they just feel bad about themselves all around.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, it's true.
I don't know if it's false either, but I don't know.
In Staten Island, I mean, come on.
Well, we feel bad about our team, not about ourselves.
That's true.
Well, usually they're Jets fans too, so it's.
Yeah, that's the one that really hurts.
Although, hey, look, both baseball teams have had years to celebrate, and both football teams have should have you on suicide watch. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
Mets are going to the championship series, Yankees are going to the World Series, but football, you better become a Buffalo fan if you're in New York.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often where both the Jets and Giants, Yankees and Mets are having great years. I guess 86. Well, the Yankees kind of sucked in 86. The Mets were good. The Giants were good. The Jets were mediocre.
The Jets were good in 86. The Jets were a game and a half away from a game and a quarter away from going to the Super Bowl.
So sometimes we get 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
But it could be the trade-off.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have good baseball and lousy football.
So go ahead, you guys. Talk about your big fucking victory from your owner who should be in jail. Go ahead.
Why should he be in jail?
Well, because he was brought up on 27 counts of insider trading and fraud, and had to pay $500 billion or something like that in fines. And if he was anybody
was he convicted?
Other than Steve Cohen, he would have been in jail.
Was he convicted?
They were found guilty of it. They paid it off instead of going to trial.
Found guilty or settled?
There you go.
Well, if he was found guilty and didn't go to jail, that means he was found guilty in civil court.
He's a creepy bastard. Congratulations. Football. Let's go.
All right, the Mets got Soto. Yay.
All right, hold on.
I'm happy. It's a long contract. I'm sure it'll blow up. We'll get a good year and a half out of him. Then he'll hurt himself for 4 years. And that'll be in the decline. And we'll never win anything, as I said before.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Not till Uncle Steve sells the team. He's bad mojo. He's bad juju.
All right.
Does he get to keep the box?
That's your take on it. All right. Let's kick this off because this is the last night that we're doing memes ever. We only have 5. There's only 5 tonight. 5 quick ones. Here we go. All right. So the first one is, sorry, no milkshakes. At the moment, we apologists for the unconvinced machine down for maintains.
Well, that's not as bad as some of the
other ones. Right?
Sounds like it was written by
seafood
AI.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know. AI definitely. I get what this means. Like I would understand.
Well, there's no milkshakes. The machine is not working. It's down for maintenance.
That's right.
I get it.
And they should be apologists.
You should be an apologist.
If you're apologizing, then you're an apologist, aren't you?
When a machine is down for maintains.
If you want a milkshake, then you got to go to the yard.
There you go. Only if you're a boy. All right.
Fight off all the boys.
There you go.
I don't know. What's a boy nowadays?
That's true.
It's so 2018.
It's true. That's true. All right. Moving on to the next one we have. This business accepts Visa, American Express, MasterCarp, waffles, open mouth kisses, several bowls of soup, pigeon hats, secret naughty handshake, compliments about the cashier's beard and the head of the cave troll that eating our children.
You forgot the pigeon hats. Oh, by the way, MasterCarp it's really good. If you membership has its privileges.
That's the fisherman's favorite charge card.
It absolutely is.
Well,
it's the only thing I use when I go to Cabela's. I'll tell you.
It's the only thing I use when I buy fish and chips.
Yeah, that too. They can go either way.
Yeah,
I just I've used the compliments about the cashier's beard quite often though. I do say that.
That's because you go to a lot of breweries with it.
Oh, of course, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
all right, the urban lumberjacks.
Exactly. All right, moving on. We have new Big Wang restaurant.
Well, hey, to each their own.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. Is the restaurant owned by someone with a Big Wang? Or do they serve Big Wang?
What's more impressive to me is that they have an alternate phone number.
Right.
In case you can't get through on the first one.
Exactly. If the first one's busy, try the second.
That's how big the Wang is. It takes up 2 phone lines.
And it answers each call all the time.
Once, yeah.
Guys, I got to duck out for a second. I got to make my final delivery here.
Go make your final delivery. We'll talk
about it. Hopefully we'll be done with the memes.
We'll talk about this one too. Here we go. Moving on to the fourth one we have. The finger room.
Look at the ass on the Democrat.
And that's the
funny.
Yeah, those of you just listening to the audio podcast, one of the silhouetted people on this sign is blue and the other is red. So,
and the blue one's got a great ass.
I know.
As most Democrats do.
And ironically, that's the guy.
Yeah. So, who knows? Again, male, female.
I know.
Just
so 2018. I know.
Yeah.
The finger room.
Let's not get Ted Nugent up in arms.
Let's not do that. All right. And our last one of the year. And probably, not ever, because we're going to put them up on the...
ever.
No, we'll put them up on the...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
On the Facebook page. But here we go. Temporary park only for getting off.
Yeah, well.
All right. Hey.
At least they pulled over.
That's true. It's safe roadhead.
Well, it's for getting off. I'm thinking this is more of a self-help parking lot.
Oh, all right. Okay. I see where you're going. I see where you went. All right. So there you go. So
look at those symbols. What language is that? Is that Taiwanese?
I'm really not sure. We'll have to check it out. Jimmy, get on that. Find out where they're from.
There
All right. And that is it for the memes. So what conversation you want to get deep into before Pete gets back on the show?
None. There's no deep conversations allowed. My mind is much.
I got you. Well, let's go back to what Pete was talking about. Let's talk about the trades.
Yeah.
Let's talk about baseball. Look, I know he gave his take, and I know it was half humorous, half funny, and everything meant to be that. But I think this was a good move for the Mets. Look, here's the thing. I know, and you're one of them to a point, but you're not really. I mean, you get it. You get it. But I'm kind of over Yankee fans bashing Soto. I hear it all the time on any of the sports shows that I'm listening to, whether they're on TV, local ones on TV, or on the radio. Obviously, that format that I still listen to. But saying addition by subtraction. Now we got more money to spend on everybody.
You're obviously not listening to the Met fans. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm listening to it's the Yankees fans' coping mechanism, right? That's what it is, right? Because every single one of them would have been, we got Soto for 15 years, baby.
Maybe, but here's a Yankees fan who's not, Luigi from fucking Yonkers. Here's my take. I'll be honest with you. Before I watched Soto for an entire year, I thought he was Manny Machado.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand all of the hype about Soto. Don't get me wrong. I saw him as a very young kid win on that really weird year with the Nationals. His numbers are good, but they're not, however, being somebody who's watched baseball for over 50 years now, the eye test is something different on Soto, and he's a different kind of player. And he's a top 5 player in baseball. Some could argue he's a top 3. Some would argue he's the best player in baseball, position-wise.
Right.
What I will say about Soto that I still believe in is that he's a little bit of an odd duck. I don't think he's always been on teams where there's other kind of stars. He went to San Diego. They were supposed to build a big team. Did he do well? He did okay. He stepped up and performed in a payday year, and he got the biggest contract in sports history.
Mm-hmm.
I will remind everybody
until next year, I'm sure.
Well, no, I don't see anybody coming down the pike unless Ohtani wants to, split in two and get two. He was hitting 310, 308, 306. Wound up the year just over 280. So he dipped off at the end of the regular season. His on-base percentage is amazing. And I think he's the best. I think he's the hardest out in baseball in clutch situations. I will give him that. He brought the Yankees to the World Series. Okay. But for all this talk about how shitty Judge was and how great Soto was, Soto's average was a hell of a lot higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Soto had 9 RBIs in the postseason. Judge had 9 RBIs in the postseason. Okay. Their on base percentage was pretty similar. Okay. Soto got some timely hits. Is he an A fielder? No. Is he a B fielder? Maybe B- at times. At times he looks horrible. At times he looks like Lou Piniella. And other times he looks amazing and he has a great arm. I think he has a good arm. People talk about it. I think he has a good arm because he knows, especially in right field, he knows how to use that well. Do I think this was good for the Mets and for Soto? Absolutely. Because he's going to go somewhere where even though there's Francisco Lindor, he is going to be the face of the Mets. And quite honestly, if he just continues to perform like he's performed over the last few years, he might go down as the face all time of the Mets. Because he has that ability to do that. And if he stayed on the Yankees, okay, he never would have had that. Here's the thing that I think is weird about Soto, okay? You saw him with all the high fives and all the camaraderie and all that. The day after the World Series, he changes his phone number and does not communicate with any of his ex-teammates about what his new number is. Doesn't talk to any of them. So what that tells me is that he was never coming back to the Yankees.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I think Cashman and Steinbrenner knew that. They made an offer, and they made a phenomenal offer. But the Mets sprinkled in some stuff, including a signing bonus and a suite that the Yankees, by, much like their facial hair policy, they just don't do. So what does that add? It adds a bunch. Maybe another $100 million. And with the escalators and the opt-ins and everything, there was a big difference at the end of the day with the Mets contract versus the Yankees contract. Having said all that, I'm happy for the Mets because I think it's gonna be a good fit. I think he's more of a Met than a Yankee. He's a little bit more Francisco Lindor than he is Derek Jeter. And I'm not slamming either side. I'm just saying there's something about being a Yankee. Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, players in the past, they've decided, hey, I want to be a Yankee and it means something. And this whole talk that the Yankees mystique is gone and all that, that's all bullshit. What it does mean is that he was gone. And whether it was Steve Cohen or another owner, which probably didn't exist, who was going to literally tickle his balls and fucking, brush his hair at the same time. Whoever was going to do it and offer him the money that would get him over that $50 million a year marker, that's where he was going to land. It just happened to be in Queens. Mm-hmm. Having said all that, okay, that puts a huge hole. We're talking with Judge and Soto. I think it was the best 1-2 punch the Yankees have seen since Ruth and Gehrig. Maybe, Mantle and DiMaggio never really played in their peaks. I mean, it's hard to think of two Yankees back-to-back in the lineup that were that good. The Yankees have added some pieces. They need some more. But overall, okay, right now, they're doing what the Yankees who won World Series did. They're getting really deep at pitching. They've got a setup man now and a closer or two closers. And in today's game, I think that's really important. I think as a Mets fan, you know that more better than anybody else.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They maybe have two of the top 5 starters in baseball with a third young one that just won Rookie of the Year, who I think could be good. And really an option to go with a 6-man rotation, which could allow Fried and Cole and Gil and or Rodon to not have as much wear and tear. Sure, their numbers might not be as boosted, but their total innings might be less.
Right.
Now, Fried is not 25. He's 30. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cody Bellinger is not 26. He's 30. So, and I think, getting the people that they have, they need a first baseman, whether that's what's his name from Arizona or Pete Alonso. I don't really think it matters at this point.
Christian Walker.
I would prefer Walker. Okay.
And they also have said that they might the other name floating around out there is like Paul Goldschmidt on a 1-year deal.
Yeah. What the hell are you guys doing?
I don't like that.
Talking about.
So in a nutshell, let me finish, Pete, and then you can go on. I think this is a win for both teams. Now we know the Mets aren't done wheeling and dealing. Do I think the Mets are better than the Dodgers with Soto? No, I don't. But they're not done yet, and I think that I'm not sure this is a next year thing for the Mets. I think they're still going to build on this, and I do think at the end of the day, if he stays healthy, he's going to become the face of a franchise, not just right now, but historically. And I think Steve Cohen really is going to make this guy a billionaire.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's on his way. He's almost there as it is.
What I'm talking about is I think that he's going to help him market himself and promote himself and invest in a way where this guy, he at the end of his Mets career, he could be part owner.
Yeah. This is very true. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I agree with you on all of that stuff as far as the Yankees go. And just to add a little bit more context to the Mets and what they're doing in the offseason, I think as I said, I think it was a good move. We're talking about Steve Cohen. He has the money. He doesn't care about the luxury tax or the second level Steve Cohen tax, right?
No, he doesn't care about anything.
Obviously. And I think this is good. But what I do think they need to do is they need to re-sign Pete Alonso because, much like Juan Soto had Aaron Judge. Now Juan Soto can have Pete Alonso. And granted, he's got Francisco Lindor hitting in front of him. Then you got Mark Vientos. And you can't take a bat out, like Pete Alonso's out of the lineup. You can't do it. And here's the other thing. Baseball-wise and hitting-wise, there's nobody else that's better than him and a better deal. The only thing that they are going to look at is if they're not going to sign him, it's because of the amount of years. Right. They don't want to give him 5. They want to give him 2.
Well, the good thing, I think the good thing working in the Mets' favor to re-sign him is I don't think there's a lot of people willing to extend Alonso into the areas that he wants. Now, do the Mets want him? I think they probably do.
I think they do. I think they do. Steve Cohen is, while a businessman, he's also a Mets fan, right? And every Mets fan, I shouldn't say every. Most Mets fans want Pete Alonso back, and at least even if he doesn't as a Mets fan, which I don't think that's the case, but even if he doesn't as a Mets fan, I still think that he feels or he can realize that what it means to have a homegrown Met and somebody that's in a Mets uniform for their entire career, because only really 2 have done it, really, when you think about it at that level.
Why do you think there's such a? I think Alonso's dropped off quite a bit. Yeah, no, he had a good postseason. I'll give him that.
Good postseason. He had a down year.
He had a couple down years.
I mean, he had a down year from Alonso, but he had a good year for anybody else the year before. But he had a bit of a down year, and
he's one of these hitters who I think at any moment can change a game.
Right, that's my point. Keep him at first. Eventually he can become your DH. Obviously, Marte is going to be the DH next year. He's not sticking around for that long. Maybe Juan Soto becomes a DH at some point too, or maybe Juan Soto moves to first base. Right, exactly. So, but in any event, that being said, my point is there's only been 2 lifelong Mets at that level of a career, and that's David Wright and Ed Kranepool, and
both household names that everybody's.
Right? Well, every Mets fan's household, sure.
Well, what my point is that come on.
Baseball fans know who David Wright is.
I understand that, but my point being is that that's not as important to Mets or Mets fans.
You can't say that as a Yankees fan, because it is kind of important. For Mets fans.
I'm telling you.
To some Mets fans, it is important.
Keith Hernandez is going to be remembered far more wonderfully than Pete Alonso.
I never said it wasn't the case, but my point is homegrown. Yeah. There's something for that, and I understand. Yeah. Look.
Trust me, as a Yankee fan, I know all too much about that. I think the Yankees rely on that way too much.
Right.
I think Jason Dominguez is not going to become Juan Soto, but man, he's homegrown, and we got to hold on to him.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So, in any event,
Anthony Volpe is the new Lou Gehrig. Didn't you see that the past 2 years with him fumbling around at shortstop, hitting a solid 240?
Hey, Gehrig was a lousy shortstop too.
That's right, because he never played there.
Yeah. That's why he never played there. Pete, last thoughts on the Mets signing Juan Soto, and will they get Pete back?
I'm going to disagree. Well, I'm not going to disagree with John that it's important to some Met fans that they have somebody there for a homegrown guy for his whole career. It's not important to me. I only want to win. And as far as Pete Alonso and Keith Hernandez, they should re-sign him. Why not? He's the guy you put in front of Soto, or maybe a couple of batters behind Soto, just in case he hits one out. And if they win a couple of World Series, then he'll be remembered more fondly than Keith Hernandez. But until they win something, I agree with Harry. They won't. He won't.
Fair enough. But they got to get there. They got to have him on a team.
We're already at a couple.
You got to get there. You might as well sign them. You're spending more than $250 million, right? You're coming up on $500 million.
Well,
might as well repeat it there too.
You know why they haven't signed him yet?
What?
Because he's not their first choice.
He's not.
No. Hold on. They're waiting to see who wins the Christian Walker sweepstakes, and I think they're also talking about Bregman and Bregman potentially playing first base. I do not think Pete Alonso is the Mets' first choice. I think they're going to let some of these other moves go, see who they land, and if somebody chooses the Mets, then Alonso will be a free agent. I mean, he'll still sign with somebody else. I think there's interest in Alonso. I think that it's a little bit of a game going on right now to see who goes first. No pun intended. That's my take. Or they would have signed him already.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much anybody else is dying to go there. So if your theory is correct, they might end up signing him because no one, anyone who's going to go there wants more than they're willing to give, or
are they willing to overpay for somebody else who's higher on their list, which they might be.
Maybe
right now, total payroll allocations, the top team, the team that is spending the most money currently at the moment, without signing anybody else or anything else. At this point in time on Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. The team that is spending the most money next year, take a guess.
Either the Yankees, Mets, or Dodgers.
I'll pick one.
I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter.
Pete?
I'll say the Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers are third. Philly is second. The Yankees are spending the most money right now. Yeah. The Mets are fourth.
Did we factor in the $75 million signing bonus? No.
Well, no. Well, that doesn't. That's not payroll. That's signing bonus. So.
There you go.
There you go.
Apples to apples.
There you go. All right. Well,
and guess which 4 teams are probably going to be in the American League and National League division?
The Mets, the Phillies, the Mets, Phillies, and/or Dodgers, and the Yankees, and
probably the Astros, who are also sitting back. And I think, look, the Astros.
The Astros are 9th right now in salary.
I know. Well, they're always amazing at putting a team on the field that's never at the top.
The second, there's 4. The Yankees are first, and then there's 4 National League teams: the Phillies, Dodgers, Mets, Braves, and then in 6th place is the Rangers.
Yeah, well, they made some big signings in the last 2 years, some huge free agent.
Yeah, that's money that has already paid dividends.
Yeah, well, they had one great year and then they paid people following that, and then they tanked last year.
Exactly.
But they're active too. Look, there's going to be teams are getting better. The Red Sox have certainly gotten better. I mean, they're going to. Who knows what's going on with Toronto? I'm surprised that Vladdy Guerrero has not been part of trade talks, which tells me that they're probably willing to see what he does this year and probably pay him big bucks.
If they're good,
which is why they haven't, been able to land some other free agents.
They made an offer to Juan Soto, so they'll spend money.
Right.
So they're either going to see what he does this year and spend the money on him, or they're going to let him. They probably won't let him hit free agency. If they're not going to spend the money on him, they'll trade him at the deadline.
Well, maybe the Mets wait 1 year, have a placeholder at first base, and then give Vladdy Guerrero $850 million for 13 years. So they could both be playing next to each other when they're 68.
There you go. By the way, the team that is spending the least amount of money.
I'm guessing it's the Oakland A's.
No.
Who is it? The Kansas City Royals?
The Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins. Yeah, are they still technically a pro team?
I know.
Yeah.
Are they still in the league? Yeah. The Marlins. Yeah. The Mets, Phillies, and Braves are in the top. Are 3 of the top 5 payrolls in baseball, and the Nationals and the Marlins, also in the National League East, are the bottom 2 teams.
All right,
29 and 30. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And there you have
so it averages out.
We're still doing this podcast in April. We'll talk about baseball again.
There you go. All right. There we go. Let's switch it to football. I don't know. I don't want to talk. I'm not talking about the Giants anymore. I'm not talking about the Jets. I will talk about, Pete. Congratulations. You won a game.
Yeah. Right. Wonderful.
Pretty
much everything is solved. All the issues are solved, I feel. I think they showed in this game that the Jets are going to be just fine.
I think you're right. As soon as Juan Soto signs with them in 18 years, then they're going to be phenomenal.
I know. He signed with him this year. He's going to be a 2-way player.
No. He's not old enough to sign with the Jets. It's got to be really rusty on his last leg, and no one else wants him.
Yeah. He's too good.
He's too good right now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, listen, whatever. Let's talk about the games that mean something and not the games that don't.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, man. Some interesting things this week. Some of the Goliaths have fallen. The Lions are 22 players on injured reserve. That is incredible. The Vikings continue to win. The 49ers are done. The Broncos somehow are a playoff team even with a tough schedule down the end. And oh my God, don't look now. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are back.
Yeah, they scored 40 points on Sunday.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah, and listen, the Rams are making a run. They may very well overtake Seattle. Rams have been on the come for about the last 6 weeks now, with a stumble here or there, but they're looking good. It's amazing what you can get when you get your top two receivers back.
Right, and
it makes a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, and a couple offensive linemen and a defensive, some secondary players and power rankings. If you had to pick NFC, AFC, two best teams each division, go.
Oh geez,
two
best teams in each division.
Right.
All right. Well,
that would assume that I know who's in what division.
Well, the NFC and AFC. There's only two of them. You know this, Pete.
In each conference or each division?
Sorry, conference.
Okay.
Conference.
I would say the two best teams in the AFC.
No, I'm saying one for each. Top team in the NFC, top team in the AFC.
Bills in the AFC.
Yeah, I'd say the Bills.
And the NFC. I mean, I want to say the Lions, but I can't with those, with those injuries. It's just ridiculous. And I this pains me to say this, but it's probably the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. And look, the Bengals have won another game. If they just were able to have a defense on the field for the first half of the season or at any point in the season. I mean, look, Josh Allen probably has jumped ahead in the MVP voting. But, I mean, yeah, he's had a great year, but is it better than Joe Burrow?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. I mean, they're both.
I think Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the game right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to read this to you right now. This is last week.
Okay.
All right, but it wasn't usurped this week, so this still stands. Last week, at this time last week, this was the case. The previous Sunday, so I guess it was week 14, with 14 catches, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns versus the Cowboys. Jamar Chase is the first receiver with a 10-plus catch, 175-plus yard, and 2-plus touchdown game since week 10, when Jamar Chase did it against the Ravens, who was then, at that point, the first player to do it since week 5, when Jamar Chase did it against the Ravens.
I don't think Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have ever had an argument about number of targets.
No, not at all.
And they've also known each other for 7 years now, 8 years. So I think they've.
They're well acquainted. No question about that.
That's
right. Well, I mean, was it last week or I guess it was last week? The game was tied, or the Cowboys, made that stupid, touch on the block punt, and you just knew that. 2 plays later, they just executed a perfect play. There's something about that connection, and really Burrow to a lot of his receivers. Granted, he has talent, but they're clicking on all cylinders. I just feel bad if they don't make the postseason. Conversely, there's a lot of teams right now who seem to have forgotten how to play defense. The Lions being one of them. Again, injuries, I get it, but man, what is going on? I don't know. The Eagles look like the best team in the NFC. I agree. However, Jalen Hurts. I just don't trust him.
All he does is win, though.
Except the Super Bowl. Except the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to criticize Jalen Hurts as long as he keeps winning.
Well, I agree.
I understand what you're saying, and you can look at the numbers and, look at the couple of 3 weeks Kirk Cousins has had and how people would be, shouting for Hurts' replacement if you had 1 week that was that bad. They win. They're the best in the division. They're the best in the conference.
Yeah.
So, if he gets the Super Bowl,
which he did already.
Again, right, and stinks up the joint, then I'll say, or if he flames out in the first round or first playoff game this year or something, that's something to criticize. But
I mean, a Eagles-Lions NFC championship game could have, 75 to 80 points of total scoring, and maybe a combined 6-7 of the worst calls by head coaches in the history of a championship game. Considering Sirianni and Campbell. I don't know. I think the last 3 weeks are going to be weird. Who knows what Mahomes' injury really is. This is the Bills to lose. That's the way I look at it. They need to take advantage of what is going on in Kansas City and win out, host the championship game in Buffalo, and win a World Series. I mean, win a Super Bowl for once.
Kansas City has had a lot of close games. Mahomes' numbers are not great. Yeah. Obviously, they've gotten a little bit of help from the refs, but everybody gets a little bit of help from the refs.
Not as much.
Maybe they've gotten a little bit more, but they're not the. It seems ridiculous to say this about a team that has how many losses?
2.
They're just not the same juggernaut powerhouse.
Not 1, not 2.
That they've been in the past. They're shaky. They're winning, but they're shaky. So what I said about Jalen Hurts, I guess, kind of applies to the Chiefs as a team. But, geez, Louise, man, you think one of these weeks they're going to get tripped up legitimately, and Buffalo's the kind of team that's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, Kansas City's 13-1. Yeah.
13-1. Yeah. On that note of records, I got to tell you this. Ready?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of one-score games in this league.
Yeah.
All right. If here's the what if scenario. Okay. Mm-hmm. If every single one of those one-win games went the other way. Okay. Every single one of them went the other way. The Denver Broncos would be 11-2 and in the top
3
seed.
And
hold on. The other 3 divisional leaders would be Cincinnati at 10-2, Buffalo at 8-4, and Jacksonville at 8-4. All right.
Wow.
Hold on.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Hold on. Just another minute. And the 3 wildcard teams currently would be the Chargers at 8-4, the Ravens at 9-5, and the Jets at 7-5. There you go.
This is such a John stat.
No, I didn't make this up.
I know you didn't make it up. I'm saying this is such a you sniff out these things.
I don't sniff them out. They come in front of my.
I know you're on a.
The Kansas City Chiefs would be in last place. They would be 2-13.
Just go to funkystats.com. Funkystats.com.
In years past, the Giants would be winning the Super Bowl based on the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Exactly.
But they're so fucking horrible that they can't even get it to be part of this story.
Well, in the NFC, Tampa Bay would be 8-4 and in the first seed.
Right.
Chicago, Washington, and San Francisco would be the other 3 divisional leaders.
Yeah.
And the 3 wildcard teams would be the Saints, the Lions, and the Giants.
Well, look,
and Carolina would still be in the bottom. Last of that.
I mean, 1 score is enough.
This is very true.
Okay.
You could lose every game of the year by 1 point.
Yeah.
And you're still 0-17.
That's very, very profound.
I thought you would like that.
There you go.
Yes, you are.
All right. Do we think it's time?
You want to do a little? Are they for real?
We can do. Are they for real? We can certainly.
Yeah, a little football related. Are they for real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right. Are they for real? Mixed edition. We'll start off with football since we were just talking about football. So how many 2-loss teams are there this year, guys?
How many 2-loss teams are there?
We got Minnesota.
4, right?
1, 2,
We got
3.
3. We got the Minnesota. Who else?
Minnesota, Eagles, and the Lions.
And the Lions. And then there's KC with 1 loss. So amongst the 2 lost teams, who's the most for real as far as winning the Super Bowl?
The Eagles.
Unfortunately, I have to say the Eagles.
I have to say the Eagles. Yeah.
And the thing that puts them over the top, again,
Talent.
needs me to say it. Well, in general, yeah. But Saquon
a great offensive line.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're deep, too. They're really deep.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl and Saquon fumble on the 1-yard line and they lose.
Have it be returned the other way.
The Giants are pretty deep, too.
A pitch option and Saquon throws a pick 6. 98.
That's right. And the Buffalo wins their first.
There you go. That would be painful.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
What makes you think Buffalo's going to the Super Bowl over Kansas City? And it's not talent. It's not talent. It's
a guy can hope. A guy can. I mean, all I really care about is that it's not Kansas City in the Super Bowl. That's all I care about.
I know. Did you see that one meme? It said, "The Super Bowl America wants: the Lions versus the Bills. The Super Bowl we're somehow going to get: the Chiefs versus the Eagles."
Yeah.
Well, listen, save up your pennies and send them to whoever the Super Bowl refs are, or the championship game refs.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's the only chance of keeping Casey out of the Super Bowl.
I don't have enough pennies to compete with what they're already getting.
We got to outbribe the refs.
Yeah.
We got to outbribe Vegas.
I don't have Taylor Swift money.
All right. Let's switch
nobody
to
does Elon Musk.
Let's switch to baseball.
All right.
Because there's this funky rumor going around about the golden bat.
Fuck it. It sucks. Stupid. No.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if this is
from the Susquehanna League, the golden at bat thing. Yeah. Yeah,
the golden at bat, where they completely throw out the integrity of the game of baseball. What little is left of it.
Yeah.
To give Aaron Judge extra at bats.
By the way, are you listening to the fan while you're driving, Pete? Because something's coming through.
No, it's the GPS.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, here's the thing. This is obviously not a rule as of yet. I don't know if it's just being floated as a trial balloon to see how many people actually care or how many people are outraged or whatever. Anybody, I think, who is actually a fan of baseball seems to hate it. And fortunately, probably the young people aren't paying attention, so they don't care. But so my question is to you, is this for real? As in, this will become a rule, whether we like it or not. Or at least on a trial basis, and then at the trial basis, it'll stick around forever, like the old DH. This is not for real. Will it become at least a trial rule?
Yeah, probably in maybe an all-star game or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe they'll test it out in the all-star game. Will it make the regular season?
No, not this year, and I don't think it'll make it. Here's why. I think that there has been so much negative reaction to this that even the people that like all these other wackadoodle fucking things, nobody likes this. It's gone too far.
It doesn't seem like anybody is.
No.
Like, you might have people who go, it's kind of interesting, I guess. But nobody's like, yeah, what a great idea.
Is your car throwing up?
So you think... What's that?
I said, is your car throwing up?
Yeah.
No? Oh, it's my windshield wipers.
It sounds like you're in a washing machine and there's a talk radio going on.
Well, of course, it's like just a shitty, foggy, rainy night.
Of course it is.
And, I got to go to the airport and,
Wasn't that a country song back in the day? Shitty, foggy, rainy night?
It's just life clicking on me as usual.
All right.
Alt country.
All right, so golden bat, no, it's never going to make the majors as an actual rule during the regular season.
Yeah.
No.
I think it might. I'm going to say yes.
All right.
This year?
Because as they fuck around with baseball and more people get disgusted with it, they're going to get more and more desperate to draw in viewers.
Tell you what, that makes Juan Soto way more valuable.
Yeah, really.
There we go. That's right. Okay, last one. So, in case you didn't know it, the Emirates NBA midseason or early season cup thing that everybody loved last year, mostly because LeBron was in it, and nobody really cared about this year, was won by what's her name?
Yeah,
Milwaukee Bucks. We started out 1-8, and I think have gone like 12-2 or 12-3 since then. And won the Emirates Cup over, I believe it was the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City Thunder they beat last night. Yeah.
Look, other than the money,
they ran away with it in the end of the third. They ran away with it.
By the way, all of the money from the winners goes to Juan Soto. It was in the contract. So,
actually, if you really break that contract down, the Mets are paying Juan Soto about $40 a game. The rest of it is coming from other places like the NBA and the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL Referees Association
and
the March of Dimes. It really is. When you get right down to it, it's a good time.
And Willie Nelson's tour. Yeah,
exactly.
So here's my question.
No one cares about it. No one cares about it. And
no one really cares about it.
I think it'll be gone next year.
Yeah, I hope it is. But here's my question. Are the Milwaukee Bucks back now? Are they for real?
Yes.
I think they're in 4th or 5th place in the East. Yeah. So are they going to contend for the top spot again?
Of course they are. Because
I never thought they were out of it, even with the shitty start. I never thought they were out of it.
I mean, other than the Celtics.
Well, after what happened last year and then the shitty start this year, a lot of people were down on Doc Rivers going, just retire, man. You can't coach anymore.
I didn't say they're going to win. But
now they've run off a good bit of wins here. Like I said, 12-2 or 12-13 or something, or 12-3 over the last 14 or 15. So are they back for real, or they're just having a nice little run?
They're absolutely for real. I think they're top 2 in the East.
There we go.
There you have it. All right.
That's it. That's Are They For Real?
That's Are They For Real? Last Are They For Real of 2024, folks. All right. Cool. Yeah, I thought that when your Richard Wipers were on that fast, it was like
yeah, it sounded like a golden retriever having a bad night.
Or a seal.
Yeah.
It's not raining enough to. It's like raining in between the actually on where they go back and forth, and then the intermittent. So it's not quite enough for the intermittent, but it's too much for me to actually turn them off.
It almost sounds like there's ice all over your windshield the way they're.
Yeah, I think
it adds to the overall quality of our.
Unless you don't have any blades in them, it's just metal.
Dying broadcast.
I think the wipers are old, and so they're either that or they're so efficient that they're drying the windshield.
Drying the windshield right out. There you go.
I know they're drying me up. Anyway,
all right. Should we do our
the 2024 Get On With It podcast fantasy football league?
Yes, indeed.
It's almost over, right?
Almost over.
Last week, final week of the regular season.
Yeah.
Playoff seedings are in. And basically what happened is John put up his usual 4. Mm-hmm. Went against the coin. The coin, the only win they got was Dallas. Right. So it was a 4-1 victory for John. His regular season record 8-4-3. Mm-hmm. And yours, the coin went to like 3-10-2, I think. Harry, you and I banged heads, and I was happy because I put up a 5. But lo and behold, Mr. Hard Luck Harry Lug Nutz drops a 6 and gets the victory, which was kind of depressing for me. So Harry, you ended up 6-7-2, I believe,
and second in points.
And second in points. And listen, you started 1-4.
I know.
So to get back to just under 500 is you done good, kid. So I ended up with the same record as John. for the regular season head-to-head.
8-4-3.
The first tiebreaker is points, and I had 53, John had 47, and Harry had 51, and the coin had 42, I think. Who cares? Fuck the coin. So it's John and Harry, the schoolyard chums, going at it for a spot in the finals, and yours truly taking on the coin as the number 1 seed. John is 2, Harry's 3, the coin is 4. So I'll take on the coin, and we'll see who gets the finals and who goes to the consolation game.
I think it's going to be you and John because I have a tough week. I'm going to do what I normally do: sit the pathetic Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins, and roll.
I was looking at that. You might not want to sit.
No,
who's Miami playing? I forgot.
49ers.
The 49ers. That's about as good a matchup for Miami as you can get.
They are my Houston Texans of 2024. Fuck them and the horse they rode in on. I'm going to ride with the teams that I have. Miami might win. I don't know, but I don't count on it, and don't. I'm not taking my chance.
You do have some favorable matchups, though.
Not really. I mean, I got all of my games are tough. So anyway, that's who I'm going with. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to sit New England, but I'm going to have to give you my second one after I do a little deliberation because I have one. Two of my teams are playing each other head to head, so that's a win and a loss regardless, right? So do I?
That's only if you put them both in.
Right, that's my point. Do I go with that?
Right. Do you assure yourself
the one win, or do I sit the team that I think is going to lose, which I'm really not sure yet, and go with somebody else?
Do they have a better or worse chance than not doing than any other team that you would normally sit, like the Giants?
I would sit the Giants, but the Giants, here's the thing. I would immediately say I'm going to sit the Giants. However, this is the week the Giants fuck up the draft order. Because
by winning
because they're playing Atlanta.
So they'll piss me off twice.
Right. They're playing Atlanta in Atlanta, but they benched Kirk Cousins.
No, that hasn't been official yet.
I don't think that's official yet.
I believe it came across my phone not that long ago, actually.
Well, listen, either way, it might be good because Cousins is terrible. So if they keep him in,
with Kirk Cousins
continue to be terrible.
With Kirk Cousins benched, what should be expected from Michael Penix Jr.?
Still better than any quarterback on the Giants.
Not much.
Yeah. No. I don't need him to be much.
I mean, not much, though. The guy played all year. He's a rookie.
Right. Now, here's the thing. He's a rookie, right? So it's his first start. But he is good, but has he taken any reps with the first squad?
All right, we'll figure it out.
I need to do that. So I'll go on the record and tell you right now, there's no way the Patriots are beating the Bills. So I'll sit the Pats, but my other sitting team, I have to give you tomorrow, and I don't have anybody playing tomorrow night, right? Who's playing tomorrow night? The Broncos and the Chargers.
I don't know who's playing.
Broncos and the Chargers. I don't have either one of them. So,
there's no games on Saturday, right? So you got
Saturday.
So game time Sunday, I guess.
Oh, there's 3 games. There's 2 games on Saturday, and one of them is my.
So we have to have our picks in by Friday night.
Well, here's the thing. Do you have Harry? Do you have the Chargers?
Nope, I have Denver.
I'm saying you have that game. You have Denver.
Yeah.
So if you're riding with Denver, obviously.
At least for now.
Yeah. So
Harry's going.
It would be nice. It would be nice to know what your picks are. You know.
Yeah, I have the
John always. I never know what John's selections are. He only tells you.
Well, here's the thing. My selections don't affect yours this year. The way we are doing this,
I know.
There's nothing affecting. And that's not true. I say it in the group. You just don't read it.
No, you never do.
Yeah, I do. I did it in the group last week.
You don't.
In any event, so you got the Pats. I'll give you the other one by Friday night, and we'll go from there.
All right.
You guys enjoy your championship week while I battle the coin for last place.
We'll see if that actually happens.
I think I'm going to come in last and have the most points. That's my prediction.
Come in last and have the most points.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably win 5 games the last 2 weeks and lose both.
And lose both of them, yeah. It could happen. It could happen. So, all right. Anything else? Oh,
that's all I got. Happy New Year.
Car Pete. Anything else?
Nope. Looks like the rain is abating a little bit, at least temporarily. I haven't gotten killed.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well,
the person signaling left and making a right exit.
If you have gotten killed, you're doing a pretty good job talking.
Well, I said I'm not. Satan, don't take me till the podcast is over.
Right.
I mean, if you die during the podcast, that would be great for ratings.
I would. Of course, if you didn't end it, then I would haunt you both forever.
That's right. No, I would.
2 weeks you have to come on. Well, in case you didn't know, Pete died during the last podcast, so we decided we were going to end it.
Dead Pete, what do you think? I think
it's hot down here.
Well, we'll just take all the past podcasts, take all the words you've said, and put it into AI, and then we'll type.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure out a way. We'll keep it going.
We'll keep it going. There you go.
They got a thing now where you can use AI to recreate a voice.
Right.
And you just type what you wanted to say, and then it looks like you're saying it. So,
AI Pete.
AI Pete. What do you think?
I mean, it'd be at least as intelligent as anything else I've ever said on this podcast.
Well, it'll sound similar when you're remote.
Yeah. They've done it, as far as I know, they've done it with 2 people on the Evan and Tiki show on WFAN. They do bad Tiki once a week. So it's AI, and obviously they just type out something funny, and they have to do a disclaimer. This in no way represents the opinions and thoughts of Tiki Barber.
Right.
But the other one they a couple of times they did Faquan Barkley.
Mm. Oh, can I ask you, speaking of the fan,
that's Faquan.
When did Boomer Esiason turn into RFK vocally?
I've been thinking about that lately too. Anytime he's talking like that,
is he all right? I mean, it's really hard to listen to him.
It's kind of been since like the pandemic, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if he has long COVID or something.
Maybe.
Or short COVID and long skirt. Is that a cake song? I like a girl with a short skirt and long COVID.
and ironically, it's like The Simpsons because they did that song back in 2003.
Yeah. Right. That's right.
Short skirt and long COVID.
There you go.
But yeah, you're right. No, he's very. His voice is very gruff.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Any minute, I think he's going to start warning me about vaccines. It's just crazy.
There have been a couple of times where I've actually cleared my throat while he's talking on the radio.
Yeah, I want to hand him water through my car radio. All right, well, what a thrilling episode, and MasterCarp is our sponsor this week. For all your,
I think this is one we submit to the sports podcast Emmys.
That's right.
I believe so. This is definitely up there. As you can see, I definitely rep the Mets today. Obviously, with
who's 41?
Seaver.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Was he always 41?
Yeah. This is his retired number up in the rafters.
Was he 40? Was he 41 everywhere he played, or no?
No, he was younger when he was first on the Mets.
Yeah,
but
he was younger when he was on the Mets. Is what you meant to say. Was he on the Mets more than once? Or did I
he was on the Mets more than once. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he got traded to Cincinnati and then came back.
But he wasn't 41 with Cincinnati, was he?
I don't know what he was in Cincinnati.
I thought he was 7 or something.
Might have been, but he was 41 with the Mets.
Both times.
Both times. Yeah. And he was actually on the Red Sox when the Mets won the '86 World Series. So he technically lost to the Mets.
Wait, he was an active player?
No, he wasn't active. He was on the Red Sox that year. He wasn't active for the World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How many numbers do the Mets have retired? 6 or so? 7?
7 now, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've just announced that they're retiring one on July 19th next year.
They've also retired some people's numbers who played for the Mets for like 6 games, right? Like Willie Mays, or didn't they retire?
They retired Willie
Jackie
Mays.
Robinson.
Well, Jackie Robinson, everybody's numbers retired.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But Willie Mays, that was a promise that Mrs. Payson made to Willie Mays when he signed with the team back in '73, and it never happened. And Steve Cohen actually just kept that promise and retired his number. So
who's retired? Stengel, Seaver, Hernandez,
Casey Stengel, Gil Hodges.
Oh, Gil Hodges.
Tom Seaver, Mike Piazza.
And then they just retired Gooden and Strawberry within the last couple of years.
They retired Gooden. They retired Strawberry. They retired.
All right, guys, I got to go. I'm at the airport. I can't navigate here and do this at the same time.
Where are you going?
Have a safe flight.
I'm going to Rio.
All right. Well, Airplane. Next, look for a special episode of Airplane Pete.
Airplane Pete is going to be on Wi-Fi. With some kids jumping on the aisle on top of him.
Yeah. In the back of my seat.
Let's sign off. Happy New Year, everybody.
I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks is January 1st, so it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
All right, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
We're going to take
better.
some time off to all 3 people listening. Next year, we're going to have some new things. Like, I don't know.
We got a lot of changes coming to the show. Pay attention and watch the show. Tune in on January 8th, Wednesday night. It's going to be some interesting changes, some fun stuff, but it'll be noticeably different. Starting with the music. So there you go. All right.
Yeah, it's going to become all music. We're just going to play all.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Country songs, old country songs,
and cake.
The
short skirt, long COVID song. There you go.
I like a girl with a short skirt and some long COVID.
There you go. All righty.
All right.
On that
note, everybody.
See you, Pete. I'll do the outro. We'll talk to you on that note. We'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m., except this time it's going to be 3 weeks because of New Year's Day. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Rephonic, pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Get On With It Sports Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a super happy holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus. Happy Solstice if you celebrate that. And everything else that's out there. And just happy holidays in general. And most importantly, have a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. And we will talk to you in 2025, folks.
God, I hope I'm getting John an editing app.
It's going to be a lot shorter for 2025.
All right, folks. Have a good one.
Right.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. See you later. Bye, everybody.